All right. Hello, everybody. I'm Brad. This is Kyla.
Hi.
We're Dallas Geek. And if you have not been able to figure out from the background, we are at Madness Games and Comics
Madness.
up in Plano. And oh my gosh, we're still surprised that they're letting us back, but it's awesome.
It's questionable at times, but like, apparently have some sort of charming effect, right?
Charm, or at least, a unique intrigue. Well, sorry, when Mike is here, unique intrigue.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
With us, I think there's at least a little bit of charm. Definitely you, though. Definitely you.
No, I'm socially awkward. It's fine. Like...
Well, I mean, we're in a comic book store. I don't think that's we're all a little bit socially awkward.
I'm not out of place here.
We love comic books. That's kind of part of the course.
They're my preciouses now.
If you didn't have at least a slightly awkward childhood, I mean,
slightly awkward is an understatement.
What happened?
Slightly awkward is an
Especially,
understatement.
if you were, our age and grew up in the 90s-ish,
early 2000s.
Yeah, then you had to have had an awkward childhood.
Yeah,
it's just a thing.
It's part of it's part of like the rite of passage at this point for millennials. Like,
but,
if you didn't get it then, you're gonna get it now as an adult. So.
But Kyla, why are we here today? I mean, aside from just because.
I mean, just because. Like, is there something going on today?
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, we have these comics in front of us that all have the same label on them. I feel like that's a clue.
They do have an interesting label. They all say Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
It's Free Comic Book Day. I'm so excited.
Oh my gosh, guys! Yeah, we are here for Free Comic Book Day. Normally the first Saturday of May, but
Usually.
obviously, thanks to the apocalypse,
the panini,
didn't happen last year, and it's been pushed back a few months this year. But it's here now, and it is the best day of the year for all comic book fans, or soon-to-be comic book fans, because that is exactly what this is for.
It's a great day to get into comics.
Yes, oh my gosh. I mean, free comics and discounts, or just amazing groups of people to be able to meet that also like comics. Yes, please.
Little paper books, they're great. Like, I'm excited. It's Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, and I mean, looking around, we got some great people that have shown up. A nice crowd. Despite the torrential downpour that is happening outside.
It's fine, it's just a little wet.
I mean, yeah, okay, so for Texas, yes, it's a little wet. But, for sane people, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So.
Yeah. So, we are here to be able to talk about Free Comic Book Day. Hi, yes, we have an audience question. Oh, please.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And this is just the plus, so thank you guys so
much. Of course.
Absolutely, yeah. As you can see, we already have a wonderful group of people here just having fun, doing our things.
About Comic Book Day.
Yeah. So, Free Comic Book Day, for those of you who do not know, this is a wonderful, nerdy holiday.
Brad's about to geek out a little bit on the history, so, like...
Yeah.
Gotta have some appreciation.
Be prepared. So, for a little bit of appreciation for the event. So this is a nerdy holiday, and yes, I'm calling it a holiday, because, yes.
Duh.
That was started back in 2002.
What's a baby?
So, oh no, absolutely. So normally you have all of the different conventions that happen, and all the different things where, people within the nerdy comic book pop culture-ish fandoms can all congregate to be able to do stuff. But back in 2002, you had Joe Field out in California that had this idea at his comic book store that he thought, well, you have all these other things, but why can't we have something specifically for comic books?
Yeah.
Why can't we have an opportunity to be able to bring in new readers and old to be able to get them in, really show off the comics that are happening now, try to get people into new series, and have a little bit of fun. So he had this idea where he would start off by going and offering once a year free comic books as an introduction for people
Yeah.
to different series, and then
It's
more
a great
stores
way to
picked
get
up.
people hooked.
Oh yeah, more stores picked it up, and then Diamond Comics Distribution, which
Yep.
if you have been following us for a while,
I've talked about them a couple times.
yeah, they are the largest comic book distributor in the world.
Just go.
Yeah, they picked up on this and said, you know what, we want to get in on this too. So they started to help out by creating these special editions of all of the different popular series
Or new
that
stuff.
yeah that are out, that are specifically meant to be an introductory point for anybody who either hasn't been keeping up with this given series or has never seen it,
Yeah.
so that they can read the issue from Free Comic Book Day, know what's been happening.
This one's new to me, and I'm
Yeah.
super excited about it. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's like right up my alley. We'll talk about it in a minute. But
And then be able to jump in to the series from that point on.
Exactly.
And essentially, if you are a comic book fan, it's kind of like it's an issue 0, but not really, because it still shows context.
yeah,
So, amazing times. And yeah, so yes, this is something that is, if you go to the website freecomicbookday.com,
Yeah.
they show the full listing of what this year's
It's like-
and
it's-
each year's
there's
offerings
a
are going to be.
lot this year.
Yeah, so
Like I kept like scrolling through the list, and it kept going and going, and I was like, "Excuse me, like this is about 1.5 times more than usual."
Yeah.
Like it's there's tons of selections for pretty much any taste of nerd out there.
Yeah.
So
And if you do go to the website, you'll see that the comics are split up into 2 categories:
Yep.
gold and silver. Now, they don't explain what that means on their website. You kind of have to go and look it up on Reddit or maybe some other comic book forum.
Yeah.
But essentially, the difference between the gold and silver branded comics is name recognition.
yeah,
So the gold comics are going to be the ones that are most popular, or are the ones that are being the most heavily pushed by the different publishers
Yeah.
that year, and the ones that they know are going to bring in people. They're also for, on the business back-end side, the gold ones are the ones that have quotas for different comic book stores have to
Yeah.
get. Whereas the silver comics, those are the
They're
ones
more
that are a
niche.
little bit niche, or are from
Which
smaller
I
publishers,
I think
or
all of mine are from the
Yeah.
silver section, aren't they?
actually no. You are you have, what is it, one gold.
That one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
I
so
mean, 3 out of
those are
4
either
being
from
niche
niche
isn't too
publishers,
far off for
niche
me.
series, or of course just series that just aren't being pushed as heavily this year.
Yeah.
And those are the ones where each comic book store is given freedom to choose as many as they want from the silvers, without the more implied requirements for gold.
Yeah.
But either way, any comic book store that participates in Free Comic Book Day, they're going to have an amazing selection. And
Yes.
if you go to different comic book stores, you might see some different options based on what each store chose to get that year.
Because some know their clientele a little bit more of like, this is what we're gonna have coming in, as opposed
Exactly.
to just kind of like, here's everything. So-
Yeah, like some place like here with
Everything.
Madness.
Yeah. Like
they have
I think they have a wide
most
selection
everything. Yeah, they have most
or
everything
something
here.
to that effect. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But no, if you go to somebody that's smaller, like say one of those traditional comic book stores that is
This is
basically the size of a
traditional,
New
let's be
York
honest.
apartment.
okay, also fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might
Yeah.
have a little bit smaller selection, but they might also have a few more of the niche titles.
Yeah.
So always worth checking it out.
It's
At the very least, be able to meet some new people
Mm-hmm.
that are just awesome.
Get your nerd on with them.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, so much. Jumping in. Oh, we already have some people in the comments
Oh.
over on Facebook.
Hi, guys.
Aaron and
Aw.
your mom.
Of course, my mom. Hi, Mom. Hi, Aaron. My 2 biggest supporters.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh my. And it looks like something might have happened to our Facebook stream.
Oh, no.
Yeah. YouTube is going strong as always.
Technical
But
difficulties.
yeah, I guess we're gonna
You
find
jinxed
out.
it.
You know,
I told you.
It always happens. You know,
You
there's always
jinxed
going to be a jinx from me at least once. At least once a stream.
Jinx
wait,
is supposed to be
it's
from
back.
the jinx is supposed to be from Mike, not you.
Well, yeah, but remember, it's the things I say that jinx us. It's the things Mike does.
Okay, that's
that
fair.
jinxes
That's fair.
us.
That's fair.
And so we're back. Hopefully, you guys can tell us in the comments if you saw it or that was strictly us. Because, you know, nah.
This is one of the few times I'm actually not in charge of technology of some sort, so it's his fault.
Always. But yeah, I just realized we did forget the most important part of
The shilling?
our show.
The shilling?
Yes, we forgot the absolutely relentless shilling that we have to do. So
every show has to do
we're
it.
a little bit into this, but who cares? So if this is your first time joining us, thank you. You've chosen a wonderful episode to jump in on.
It's free comic book day,
Yes.
Dad. I'm sorry, really excited.
Yeah, and seriously, guys, if you are not already out checking out Free Comic Book Day, get out, do it now. Just do it
It
now.
also
Do
gives you
it
something
now.
to-
We won't take it personally if you
No.
leave watching us to come out and experience
I mean,
Free
you
Comic
could
Book
come
Day.
watch us like here.
I mean, that too, yeah.
That's an
Yeah,
option.
yeah.
I mean, Madness has plenty of space.
Yes, which,
And
by
it-
the way, Madness. Plano over on Custer Road.
Mm-hmm.
Just, about 5 minutes off of George Bush.
If even.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally just go up Custer off George Bush. You'll get there eventually.
3000 Custer Road, Plano, Texas.
Yeah!
Come check them out.
If you know where, like, Custer and Parker intersect, like, that's basically where we are. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, Madness, I'm pretty sure the largest comic and game store in
It
North
has to
Texas.
be. Like,
Don't know if they are the largest in Texas, but definitely North Texas.
yes.
Because I've seen a lot. Maybe not all,
Just
but
like a
a
handful,
lot.
it's fine.
And yeah, amazing selection. One of the best selection of games that you're gonna find
Yes.
anywhere outside of
of
online.
games.
Comic selection's fantastic. Love their
The Funko Pop
trades.
section is fantastic.
So their collectibles, they have taken over almost a third of the store,
Yes.
and they have recently refilled their Funko Pops, and
Yeah.
the
I'll be
pops are
perusing in a bit.
everywhere.
I'll be
Everywhere.
perusing Funko Pops.
But
But they don't-
as you may remember from past episodes, Kyla has a slight
I
problem
don't have
with
like
Pops.
5
Mike
or 600,
absolutely.
it's fine. And I have more than Mike, so
But
it's a problem.
now for our shilling, because
Yeah.
you gotta know where to find us.
Exactly.
If this is your first time checking us out, please go check us out on YouTube.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and
Good.
ring that notification bell to be able to find out when we have new episodes, live shows,
Yeah.
all the fun stuff. And of course, you can find us over on Facebook. Don't forget to
Facebook.
like, follow, share with your friends. You know, because in the end, this is all about having a conversation.
Exactly, yeah.
Finding more nerdy people to be able to enjoy nerdy things with.
Yes.
So, yeah,
Come find us.
absolutely.
Socialize with us.
And of course, if you want to be able to check out more of us but don't have time for our videos, you can always
is
check out the audio
viable.
on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Yep.
Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher, because we're all the places all the time because
With
of
all
the
your
algorithm,
podcast needs?
I guess.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something to that
But
effect.
yeah.
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 Lots of options for your viewing pleasures or listening pleasures if you don't want to watch our faces, which I get.
Well, yeah, but
That's
I mean, I get if they wouldn't want to see my face, but why wouldn't you want to see Kyla's? Honestly,
I'm a precious
Just-
bean. I'm an awkward bean, it's fine.
with that, guys, Free Comic Book Day this year, though. We do need to get into the selection that is available because, oh my
There's-
gosh, this year's options are incredible.
Yes.
They're always incredible, but this year specifically.
There's a lot to choose from, and like a lot of like varying topics and themes and whatnot. So surely, no matter how niche you might be, there is something here you would probably enjoy reading.
So, just for a quick comment
Oh,
break in,
no.
because we apparently in this little moment of shilling had a mass flooding of comments on
Oh
Facebook.
gosh, from who?
Well, Aaron, of course,
Aw.
showing all the Kyla love. And,
Aaron's Bay. It's fine.
Yeah. And then, oh, she paused her lo-fi for us.
Oh.
I feel
it means a lot.
Yeah, I feel very honored. And then of course we have
Though
Chris.
I think we could probably blend with lo-fi pretty well.
I think that would work.
Yeah.
And then of course Chris Metler, one of the owners of this wonderful, wonderful
Hi, Chris.
establishment, jumping into the comments. Which thank you again, Chris.
You can come see us.
Chris and the other Chris. You know, you guys are awesome. Amazing store. Seriously,
We love
guys, check them out. If you have a chance to meet either of the Chris's, totally worth your time.
Everyone's
They're great.
here super friendly.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I've
of
never
course-
had like a bad interaction with anybody here because everyone's super chill. Like,
And of course, our buddy Tom, who is somewhere
Tom!
around.
Love
Yeah,
Tom.
yeah. And then of course we have Alberto Torres.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, we just missed him.
Aw, sad day.
And of course, one more comment from Aaron calling you Herbie.
Yes,
Because,
exactly. Bean.
Oh, so awesome. But yes, so this year's selection for Free Comic Book Day.
There's a ton of options. Like, if you're into more like traditional comics, like Avengers and stuff like that, there's some like kind of weird off-the-wall ones, which just seem to be what I have picked.
So let's just dive in to our
Okay.
preferences, and then we can kind of sprinkle in the others
Yeah.
that we haven't explicitly brought to the table.
That sounds good.
So, Kyla, what's your first pick of the bunch?
Of the four, personally, that I'm really excited about reading is R.L. Stein's Just Beyond. I was a big Goosebumps kid. Like, let me just, like, gesture to myself in a general sense. If you're not surprised I was a Goosebumps kid. So, when I saw R.L. Stein, I immediately was like, oh my gosh, there's more. And then I found out apparently they're doing a Disney Plus series based on this comic book series of Just Beyond.
R.L. Stein, breeding baby goths throughout the 90s.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
early 2000s.
Maybe goths and alt kids, it's fine. But yeah, so I'm really excited about this one. Apparently this one is taking place at a old movie theater, movie filming studio, and the monsters are alive and seeking vengeance and whatnot, and like, it's Goosebumps, like, you know, just reborn, and I'm really excited about it, so
Yeah.
this is on the list of my niche goofy ones.
Oh, yes.
What do you got, Brad?
Well, I have to, for my own personal, deeply seated desire, have to go with Sonic.
Sonic.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So, Sonic, this one is highlighting the 30th anniversary of the franchise.
Which I forgot how old it was.
Yeah.
Like,
So, I grew up reading the Sonic comics from Archie.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Sonic, if it
Ooh.
doesn't surprise you,
if
published
that
by
doesn't date
Archie
you,
Comics.
like,
Yeah, I grew up reading the comics. I loved it. I was obsessed with the amazing Saturday morning Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon.
Yep.
Loved the now absolutely acid trippy weekday show because, you know, every kid has to be able to have their creative inspiration.
yeah, somewhere.
And, you know, anything that looks like it's something that came out of the slightly lucid mind of Salvador Dali is, you know,
I mean,
you need
Don't
something.
think you're wrong in that description.
Sorry, Salvador Dali. I completely butchered the name of one of the greats.
It's fine.
But so we have. I read the comics. I loved them. I even have the 10th anniversary comic in
You're
the condition that it is still in. I will say it was well read and used, and
That's
currently in a protective cover for a reason.
Yeah.
But the 30th anniversary, amazing. This is just the highlight reel that you need. But if you want to be able to get the full 30th anniversary experience, there's the big one. Actually, here, just around the corner.
Ooh.
You know, this sucker's. Oh, it's beefy.
Is he a chunky boy?
Oh, it's a beefy one, and it's amazing, and absolutely on my list to pick up.
Yes.
So yeah,
Excellent, excellent.
So Kyla, what do you got?
Okay, so I do have another one. That I'm just gonna like gesture to the all black outfit that I'm wearing. It's called Vampire the Masquerade. It has like conspiracy theories. It's a vampire society. There's investigation. There's outcast vampires. Like I'm just, if you've seen The Lost Boys, I'm just gonna like put this here for you because who doesn't get excited about a vampire society that's like dark and spooky and like dark secrets and things like that? I mean, plus I really like the art style. It's kind of like that grungy 90s look to it. So I'm super excited about it. So, because I hadn't heard about it until Free Comic Book Day, so I was like, yes, please, get me into this now.
Yeah, no, that's a very nice call out with the Lost Boys.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of has the aesthetic of it, doesn't it? Like,
I guess
no.
Aaron is nearby.
Aaron's nearby?
Talking about the lime green Jeep named Yoda across the street.
Are you coming to see me?
Maybe? If you do, there may be some squealing.
I apologize for ears in advance, so.
But yeah. So, fantastic.
But yeah, so I'm excited about that one since it's Free Comic Book Day. I hadn't heard of it. It was one of those literally the perfect day to grab it, kind of see how you feel about it, and jump into it.
Which is absolutely one of the best reasons to come check out Free Comic Book Day. Because if you see a comic that just looks interesting, you have no idea what it's about, zero context, but the cover art catches your eye, or something about the name, or whatever, it is absolutely worth grabbing just to see what happens.
And there's literally like no negative to it of being able just to grab it. And...
Oh, apparently she just lives nearby.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Just point out. Unfortunately, Aaron, we're not going to be here till 5.
Sad day.
We'll be here for a while, but not quite that long. Anywho. But yes.
Yeah. So no harm in picking up a new series that you hadn't heard of, or just looks semi-interesting or up your alley.
Yep.
So I mean, that's why I grabbed this one today. So.
And just to point out, one of the wonderful aspects of Free Comic Book Day, unlike sometimes if when you're at conventions and you got some free comic samples, there may be a limit. You are free to go through and just start grabbing and piling up. Get that reading list going for yourself.
I've seen people walking by and they have like the stack of just going down the line and like, I want one of this and this and this and that and this and that. So I mean,
100% the best reason to come.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like those book fairs we had when we were a kid.
Yeah.
But like you don't have to cry about not having money for them.
Yeah.
So
it's like Scholastic book fairs, but
But with actual serotonin boosters,
you
you get to walk away with everything you want.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I may have blown a few allowances at the Scholastic book fairs.
A few is an understatement. Like,
Plus,
that was a...
borrowed money from my parents and begged and pleaded and...
Mom, they're gonna have this book, I want it.
Oh, and of course,
they're gonna have this art set, I want it.
My bookmark collection, thanks to the Scholastic Book Fair, was about as impressive as my book collection.
25 to 50-cent bookmarks, like, that you could just load up on because you had $5.
Oh, yeah. And
Done.
I know a lot of kids would go out and just load up on bookmarks because they know the bookmark would be trashed by the time they finished a book.
Also true.
I loaded up on them because I knew they were going to still be like nice and fully pressed when I was done.
Were you one of those kids, Brad?
Oh, I had the collection because the bookmark of choice was based on what was I reading and how was I feeling today.
Really?
Yeah.
I was
I had a selection.
I was that chaotic kid that just remembered what page number I was on.
Well, at least you weren't the one that would like bend the pages over to remember where you were. Oh my gosh,
books are precious.
That
they
broke
don't get
me.
bent, but
even as a kid, that broke me.
I was that chaotic kid to be like, okay, I'm on page 232, and like just close my book and move on with my life.
Okay,
Which
so
apparently
you were a
people
freak
out.
of nature. Got it. Were you also one of those kids that could like finish a full novel in like? One of the Scholastic novels in like a day, and a full-size novel in like less than a week.
Okay, so
Was that you?
yeah, I in high school when The Fault in Our Stars came out by John Green, I read the book in 7.5 hours, and then met John Green a week and a half later during his book tour, and I was like, he goes, "How'd you like it?" I was like, "Oh, I finished it in 7.5 hours." He stopped signing my book, looked up at me, and he goes, "I spent 14 years of my life writing this book, and you finished it in 7.5 hours. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this one." So I made John Green upset because I finished his book in a day. Yeah, I was that kid. I finished like Harry Potter books in like 5 days. Like, I read the Odyssey in 5th grade for shiggles. Like, I was that kid as a yeah.
Jody says hi, by the way.
Hi, Jody.
And Aaron agrees with the bookmark comments.
Which part of it? All of it?
Me.
Oh,
Having a full system
pristine?
of mood and genre.
I can respect it. I was that chaotic kid that I would lose bookmarks too easily, and so I would just like I got to a point of just this is what page number I'm on. Okay, moving on with my life.
Yep.
So,
Oh, wonderful times.
yeah.
You know, I take my sweet time with the book because I don't want it to end, but also I'm one of the weird ones. So it took me longer than it probably should have to realize that when each person reads a book, they have a different way of processing it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't realize how drastically that processing difference could be.
Oh yeah.
Like, I've always been one of those readers that, you know, when I'm reading something, it's a full movie in my head. So when I read, I'm reading at the pace that the movie would be progressing
That's
because,
fair.
you know, I'm appreciating every moment of it. I had no idea that there were other people out there that when they read, they just they hear the words in their head, they see nothing, and there's no context, no inner monologue. It's just the
That's
text.
me.
I had no idea that there was a variety.
I thought I was weird growing up because I couldn't ever like. People would be like, imagine your favorite ice cream cone,
Yeah.
and I would basically like imagine the words like chocolate with sprinkles, dipped cone, like it would be like a list of things. So when I was reading a book, like I know what's going on, like understand it, but I wasn't like, oh, there's a movie playing in my head. I mean, comics do that for me just because they actually give me a picture to look at, but my imagination doesn't process with like pictures and stuff.
Oh yeah,
It's just like
which might explain a little bit of why I got into photography and video.
That's fair.
But also might also explain why I became so easily obsessed with Star Wars.
Yeah,
Because if you
that's probably a fun
if you
movie
can
in
see it
your
all
head, wasn't
play
it?
out, why wouldn't you go for the books that would have just the
mean, that's
coolest
fair.
Fight sequences and
That's fair.
ship battles and all the crazy sci-fi stuff you can imagine?
yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you? It was an
it's fair.
amazing time.
Then you get me who like
It
would
still
sit there
is,
and
really.
plow through like a Harry Potter book, and seeing the first movie, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, like Harry, Ron, and Hermione look exactly like I pictured them." I was like, "You pictured them?" Like,
Yeah.
like for a while they were stick figures in my head because I mean, like I needed something to like play out to get an idea of how things worked, but
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
wasn't that kid. So.
Well, and even
which is
now-
why I barreled through books probably.
even now as an adult, I still have friends and family that are astonished by how many books are just littered around
Yeah.
our house.
You do have books hiding everywhere.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like the
like
fact
I'm like
that
thinking about it. I'm like, if like
yeah,
this
like the
little
fact
area
that
that has books.
I was incapable of keeping just my books
Yeah.
restricted to the large amount of book shelf space in my office at home.
Yeah.
And had to overflow into multiple rooms just for
Yeah.
my books, let alone Sarah's
Yeah.
or
The
either of our
kiddos.
boys, because
Yeah.
now they are developing a book collection that is rivaling mine, and I am so proud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the fact
They
that
do enjoy a good book every time I go over there.
oh yeah, like the fact that my 2-year-old Luke, it
precious.
will just go for like book after book after book, and even after like 5-6 books in, he's still wanting more. That
Papa
makes
moment.
my nerdy little heart so happy.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So of those books, like, what's the major theme across all the books that you and your kid have in common?
Honestly, all the above.
All the above?
It's
Okay.
just it's so varied, but the fact But I mean, I've gotten both of my boys already into Star Wars stuff and books and everything. So
I would
which
assume so.
Gets into my next choice here, which was Star Wars: The High Republic.
Yes.
And if you have not heard me talking about this in at least one of 10 of our previous episodes.
We just talked about it too.
I mean, oh my gosh. So
it's kind of his thing. Like
Star Wars: The High Republic has become one of my absolute favorite things that has happened to Star Wars since Disney's purchase.
Fair.
I mean, a lot of things have happened with Star Wars since the Disney takeover, but specifically...
We love the mouse, just please know that.
No. We would never offend the mouse.
Never.
Hand on heart, we would never offend the mouse.
I cross my legs to make sure that in case he's watching, like
the mouse or the Googles,
or the
because
Googles.
they both basically own our lives at this point.
It's true. We love the mouse and we love the Googles.
Yes, but specifically Star Wars: The High Republic. With all of the different books and movies and TV shows that Disney has tried to do with Star Wars, this is the first time that Disney has allowed the Star Wars writing team to actually create a core writing team for a series to have it interconnected across media, across the different reading levels, so that it could become a widespread adventure.
Accessibility.
Because so far, even classic Star Wars, a given storyline would only really run through a given novel series or given comic series, and maybe you had a reference here and there in other media, but that was kind of up to that author's purview, and it didn't happen often. This is the first time where you have a comic series, a children's book series, a young readers series, a young adult series, and an adult novel series, all connected together with one overarching story, same characters, jumping between stories, same story references between them, and while, say, the adult novels will focus on this aspect of the story, the young adult novels will focus on this, the comics will focus on this, but they all tie together so that you can read one or all of it and you're not lost, but if you do read all of it, you get that much more out of it.
Exactly.
And it's amazing. I've been waiting for this for so long. You have no idea.
He's so giddy.
You have no idea.
Sorry, I will apologize. I was laughing because you're talking about like across the different age gaps. Have you heard the audio or like seen the video about like someone talking about James Patterson and how he's like the actual writer of every book because he's in like kids books and young adult and stuff like that. So when you're going through the different ages, all I could imagine was James Patterson writing Star Wars. That's why I started giggling, I'm sorry. Because in kids' book, he's Jimmy Patterson, but then, like, in young adult books, he's Jay Patterson, and then in adult books, it's James Patterson. Sorry, it was, you started going through the different ones, and my brain jumped to that one.
It's totally fair. For all the bookworms out there, you'll probably appreciate that one a lot more.
He writes everything. Everyone who says their name isn't James Patterson is a liar.
Oh, and we have a question or a comment I missed from Aaron a minute ago, saying that apparently, referencing your John Green comment, apparently she had a chance to be able to talk to Christopher, I know I'm going to butcher the last name, Polini? Aragon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and apparently stumped him with her question. Amazing, by the way.
This is why we get along, Aaron. Like, we upset authors, it's fine. Just on the casual.
Well, it's what you do.
I'd rather not upset them, but like, that's just, oops.
Although, I will say, speaking of authors though, the authors specifically that have been brought in for the High Republic series. They are all authors that were initially brought in with a couple of the earlier novels for Star Wars after the Disney acquisition, and some of their books were kind of overlooked. Others became wildly popular by the fans and then missed by the rest of the public. but then every one of them
you
were
do.
brought back in for the High Republic.
That's
and
cool.
I was so thrilled to see the names of who all was brought in, especially Claudia Gray, when she was brought in for this. Primarily does the young adult novels for Star Wars. First one she did was Star by Star.
Okay.
Amazing book. I've lost track of how many times I've reread that thing.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Do not agree with the fact that it's classified as young adult because it is an amazingly well done story.
I mean,
but yes,
young adult books that's just target audience doesn't mean that my late 20s self can't enjoy them.
I mean, yes. In
Dang
fairness, it was a bit focused around two younger as they grew up characters, romance from childhood on.
Yep.
So it does fit the demographic.
It's
but still,
don't mind
Claudia
me, it's
Gray,
fine.
if you ever see this, I love your work, and if you ever want to come on our show and talk,
Shooting your shot.
We'd be cool with that. Anyway.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, as
Seriously.
you notice, he can
Seriously,
geek out
though.
about Star Wars on many levels, not just lore, but like in depth things. So
I was that one friend by the time I was 8
Uh-huh.
that all the rest of my friends would come to if they had a Star Wars question, lore or hypothetical, because they knew there was nothing I couldn't answer about that.
that's becoming me with D&D, and I'm like, why am I the go-to for DM questions?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll just wing this crap. Come on, guys.
So, enough about the Star Wars tangent. Kyla, what is your next choice?
I have Life is Strange. I have loved the series so far. There's Life is Strange, there was Life is Strange Before the Storm, Life is Strange 2, the Awesome Adventures, the Adventures of Captain Awesome, which was a cute little one-off story. What?
I haven't heard of that one.
You haven't heard of that
No,
one?
I haven't.
It is so precious. So, like, in that one, you're playing it. Oh, it's precious and sad. Like, well, all the stories are precious and sad.
I mean, it's part of the Life is Strange series. Of course, there's going to be some sadness involved.
Yeah. No, this one is like basically a kid learns about his powers and stuff like that. But it was in between Life is Strange 1 and Life is Strange 2, because you actually meet the brothers from Life is Strange 2 and the Adventures of Captain Awesome. But like it's a cute one. It's also sad, but it's cute. So, but I love Life is Strange. I didn't know that they were doing a comic until a couple of days ago, right before I saw that it was on the list for Free Comic Book Day. I was like, and like I love the artwork. It's very simple, very easily accessible for lots of different ages. I probably wouldn't necessarily recommend it for super young because of some of the dark topics, but
I will say that art style that you just showed off, I love this type of art style.
Yes.
Like, you always have a
Like-
comic art style that you can connect with. This is some of the stuff I love.
I can get behind this
It's
like
so
all day, every day.
simple, but so
Yes.
like it's the strong, bold line work, the very smooth, well blended colors,
With some cell
just
shading.
oh
like,
yeah, so
some
nice.
cell shading.
nice.
But yeah, no, so this one, you get Max and Chloe if you're familiar with the first game, but there's another Life is Strange game coming out in September called True Colors, and you also get like a little snippet of the character from there and kind of what's going on leading up to the game. So I'm excited about diving into this one whenever I get a chance later.
And we have a comment from Slacker Mike that has decided to jump in our comments.
Hi, babe.
Who couldn't be bothered to show up for the show today.
He's at work. I mean, he's being productive just at other places.
And
I'm just saying. But what did he say?
he said, you enjoy them, you non-adult adult. And
Yeah.
he questions your precious description of Life is Strange.
So, like, specifically Captain Awesome is precious. I would not describe the rest of the series precious whatsoever. It's just good. Well, so Captain Awesome, like, the kid's, like, 6 years old in the game.
Okay, that makes it so much better to use that description.
You have to, like, one of the things you do in the game is you piece together his superhero costume. Now, granted, it's
Okay,
like a
that's
blue,
awesome.
it's like a blue t-shirt
That's
and a towel, but, like, it is cute, okay? Like, get
So,
off me, it's actually cute.
I don't know how many of you this is going to be triggering flashbacks for,
Oh, no.
but are you familiar with the kids' game computer game from the 90s, Pajama Sam.
Yes.
What you just described gave
That's
me
what
like
you got.
immediate flashbacks to Pajama Sam.
I know, like so the Adventures of Captain Awesome. It's a little one episode thing because like if you don't know anything about Life is Strange, they're episodic, pick your own story sort of games.
Yeah.
But Adventures of Captain Awesome is literally like I think I played through all of it in like an hour.
Okay.
It was a free download on Steam. Pretty sure it's free on other platforms too and whatnot. But it was just kind of a prequel story leading into Life is Strange 2.
Gotcha.
It actually was cute. The rest of Life is Strange is very like emotional, talks about health a lot with a lot of things and some other dark themes that I will.
So Captain Awesome didn't have you going through yet another existential crisis, curl up in the corner?
No, like there was a couple of little things that like as an adult looking at it, you realize, but you get a chance to see it through the innocence of a child again.
Got it.
If that makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah, no, it
like,
definitely does.
Without too much of spoilers and whatnot, like you can see that the kid doesn't have a great home life.
Gotcha.
But because he's a kid, he doesn't process it that way. Like, his dad's upset about something, and, like, he, like, in his inner monologue is like, I really want to do something to make Dad happy. I hope I can do that one day. And, like, it's a really, like, it's heartening, okay? Like,
oh, no, I'm not...
Melts my heart a little bit, okay? Like,
I'm not questioning any of that. No.
The rest of the other games,
If there's even a slight light point for a series like Life is Strange, I call that a good thing.
Yeah.
So, yes.
The rest of the series is very,
If you're not ready to go through your existential crisis this week, maybe don't start playing it for the first time.
No.
Just saying.
Or make sure you have, like, an emotional support animal, like...
Or
stuffed
2
animal
or 3 or like a pile
otherwise
of them. Yes.
Nearby. So...
Yes.
That's why I want to pick up the comic, though, just to kind of get, like, a different view on it, because even just flipping through what I've seen in here, you get a little bit extra.
That's fair.
Like, into more what's
Totally
going
fair.
on, so...
Now, we are at that time mark where we need to go ahead and just restate the shilling briefly, because,
Fair.
in case you didn't see it earlier. Guys, thank you for making it this long. There's still plenty of more Free Comic Book Day goodness to go, but if you have not already, please do not forget to go and
to all the things.
Like, subscribe, and click that notification bell over on YouTube to be able to get notified every time we upload a new video or start a new live show. Yeah, and by the way, that little notification bell, very, very important, because with the way that the YouTube subscription notifications work, you may or may not find out when we post something new, but if you hit that bell, you absolutely will. Yeah, no. We would never, we would never make the Googles mad. Never. And then, of course, do not forget to, over on Facebook, like and follow, because, we're always over there, too, because we got to be all the places.
All the time.
And, definitely make sure to share that with your friends, family, co-workers, random stranger on the street. Yeah. And, you can always count on us to be able to come back with new, fun interviews from your favorite voice actors, actors,
have you told
authors,
them about the
artists.
Upcoming one?
Ooh, thank you.
Have you told them about the upcoming one? That I'm super bummed that I can't.
We can't not talk about that.
Not talk about it. I was like,
I'm ashamed.
Excuse me?
I'm ashamed that we did not say this earlier. As part of the Madness Games and Comics
Again, we love y'all.
plug, because seriously, guys, they're amazing. Come check them out.
There is going to be something here for you.
I don't care if you're not in North Texas. Find your way to North Texas and come check them out.
Yes.
Worth it. But this Wednesday at
I'm so bummed
3 o'clock p.m. right here.
At this table, even.
We are going to be having the amazing opportunity to be able to interview former Disney Imagineer
so excited.
and former senior art director for Disney and Universal Studios, because, of course, Timmy Britt. And if you have
Yes.
never heard of
Yes.
Timmy Britt, but you've been to Disney World before or Universal Studios in the
Especially
last
if you've
10
been to
years,
Universal Studios.
I can guarantee you have seen Timmy Britt's work.
Yes.
Timmy Britt, as senior art designer for Disney, for Disney,
Yep.
had a lot of influence on some of the more modern ride
Which is so
art
cool.
design. If I remember correctly, I believe Pandora was
Yes.
some of his work, which and then over at Universal Studios, his work
Universal Studios.
was a lot of the
Harry Potter!
yes, amazingly talented guy, wonderful.
Like, if I remember correctly,
wonderful.
I think he did the Hagrid ride as one of the ones
Yes,
that he did.
that was one of the biggies that
Yes.
everybody always remembers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, I heard about this interview and I was like, I want to be there, but then I'm an adult and I have a job, and so I can't, and so I am gonna be like,
Yeah.
as soon as I am free, like watching it and catching it and stuff like that. So,
So
excited.
to get ready for the interview, I have his book. I'm almost halfway through with his book.
Mm-hmm.
It hits all the feels, and I've already
I've
had
got my
to
Cliff Notes.
collect myself from being just a sobbing mess a couple of times because this man has so many amazing and just heartwarming stories that he
Yep.
includes in his very specifically memoir, not autobiography, because the story's not finished. I've had to collect myself a few times reading his
Yeah.
book so far, and I'm only almost halfway through.
you have a couple. I don't know why I'm looking at my invisible watch. We have a couple of days to finish it.
Oh
so.
no, I have been pouring so much time into this book. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
and you know it. I mean, this is a man who, for his audition to become a Disney cast member, hoping to get into the animation studio, auditioned, teaching a class to everybody in the recruiting center. Sorry.
That is, I can't.
Casting studio
I can't say the
for
words
Disney
that come
World
with it.
how to draw Mickey Mouse, and was so charismatic. Sorry, just the face of Mickey, and was so charismatic with it. Not only did he have the people he was interviewing with attention, he had every manager, every employee, and every person interviewing that day enraptured and circled around him while he taught a class on how to draw Mickey Mouse.
Can you
And
imagine?
it was one of the most impressive stories I've read.
Can you imagine having that much confidence in yourself that, like, I'm going to teach Disney how to draw like Disney?
Oh,
Like,
so much confidence, in fact, that he and his family sold everything they had in Philly and drove down to Orlando, and before finding a place to sleep, finding a place to eat, they went straight to Disney World and pulled up right at the casting studio
There you
so that
go.
he could walk in and interview. This
That's some
man
confidence.
is incredible. His art is amazing, and you really need to come
Yep.
back on Wednesday and check out this interview.
It's gonna be here.
I'm freaking out a little bit for it,
Yeah.
just a tad, and
Just a tiny bit.
you can come check out the interview in person
If you would
for
like.
to be part of the live audience, or you can check us out on
You can
Facebook or
fangirl with Brad.
YouTube. It will be amazing. Trust us, you won't regret it.
yes. So
And
I mean,
there's
that's going to
even
be
been
Wednesday.
a tease that there may be a little bit of a drawing
Ooh.
demonstration during this as well.
Ooh.
Don't know. Maybe not. You gotta come back and check it out to find out. But yes,
So
yes.
that's going to be Wednesday. I'm bummed that I can't be here. I have to go adult at work. But so that's Wednesday. So
Ugh.
if you haven't had a reason to come to Madness, there's a reason now.
Name of the book, Aaron. Yes. The name of the book is
Ordinary Everyday Magic.
Extraordinary Everyday Magic.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
It's literally postered up
There's a
right
sign
next
over
to
there.
us. But yes,
It's just outside of
extraordinary
shot.
everyday magic. It's wonderful. The book is 463 pages,
chunky
plus a preface and intro and forward and an afterward. And
I think Brad's been reading a little bit.
yes, but it's worth every moment.
Yes.
So
that's
anyway,
Wednesday. There's your shilling, by the way.
back to Free Comic Book Day, because
Free Comic Book Day. Like, it's an easy way to get into reading. I think you have one more to
Yes,
talk about,
I do.
don't you?
My next pick is, because, you know, it is a
Because-
given.
With who you are as a person.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers.
The Avengers.
Oh, yes. So,
Hulk smash on the cover.
here's the thing that you need to know if you haven't ever read the Avengers, or just stopped keeping up with the Avengers, but you know all the movies.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched the movies and thought, hey, this is fun, but it seems like it would be a little hard to keep up with everything,
Yeah.
especially now that there are shows in the mix and everything.
There's
you
a
have
lot
no
in the MCU.
idea with the comics. The comics, there are so many different individual hero comics that tie into the
Yes.
Avenger titles, and then whenever
And
the
crossover episodes.
yeah, you have the crossover event where now you have the Avengers titles plus the individual titles and all that
And then they
come
like
together.
do this number, and then
It
do this
is
way,
so
and then they're like
hard
this.
to keep up if you have not been following along from the beginning of this particular story arc.
Yeah.
So when you are given the opportunity like this to catch up on what's happening with the current Avengers run, this is absolutely something you need to do,
It's not a bad
because it
starting
is going to
point.
save you so much time
Yes.
and confusion. Just yes.
Yes.
If you come to Free Comic Book Day and the Avengers is an option, or X-Men is an option, or basically any of the major comic book
Yes.
teams is an option.
Teams is an understatement. It's more of an
That
army.
is when you need to just grab it, even if you have a passing interest, because
Yes.
it's the best way to get caught up.
It's a good leaping off point, and then
Yeah.
you can kind of like start piecing together like the little parts that you want to keep up with and
Yes.
things like that too. So
I mean, you could always go to YouTube and try to piecemeal things together from different videos, but that's still going to take an immense amount of time.
Yes.
And even then, it's still not the same experience. You come and grab this, you have the amazing, amazing artwork to be able to appreciate, and occasionally some extras inside because, oh my gosh.
because why not?
And then you just really, oh.
Very classic comic book art style too. If that's kind of your
It is...
that's your jam.
This is the style of comic book art that I adore. It's the style that the Star Wars comics had
Yeah.
back under Dark Horse.
Speaking
And
of
it's
Dark
this... yeah, it's the style that DC has done forever, and it is the style that Marvel for the longest time had pushed
Yeah.
against to try to keep it more traditional. And now that they have really fully embraced it, it
leaned
is
into it.
amazing.
Yes.
And it's just so clean and crisp and pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, I love
that
it.
is kind of a pull from comics that like a lot of people don't realize too.
Yeah.
Is that not only are you actually like reading something, it's visually interesting. Like for someone, as we talked earlier, that has the hardest time imagining things. Like when you're telling me something's going to explode and there's bits and pieces going across the screen and whatnot, my brain doesn't make that picture. So like, here's the picture for me. And that's also why I really enjoy comics, because getting that visual to go along with it also just makes you want to keep turning the pages. So
Yeah. And by the way, if you do, if you're hearing any of what we're saying about Free Comic Book Day, and you're noticing that these are all the individual issues, yes, some of them are a little bit beefier than your average
Yeah.
issue just to get you caught up better. But
and
if
some
you're
are a
looking
little
at
bit thinner
this,
just to give you an idea.
yeah, if you're looking at this and thinking, you know, that sounds great, but you just don't feel like keeping up with the individual single
is fine.
issues, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with
That
that.
is a valid feeling, by the way. So, like, please know that.
Just off screen over here, there is a whole section of trade paperbacks.
Yes.
So you'll hear some people refer to them as trades, other people refer to them as
Graphic novels.
graphic novels, or TPBs,
Yeah,
trade
also.
paperbacks. They those are the compilations of these individual
Yes.
issues
Which
where
one-
you can go in and get the full story for a
Exactly.
given arc and appreciate it all at once.
So you can get like a whole story, and it'll even tell you like, hey, this trade is the Amazing Spider-Man comics 73 through 89, and then picks back up at 93 through 95.
Yep.
So you can get the full story, but you didn't necessarily have to miss that every 2 weeks when the new episode came out, or new comic came out.
Yeah.
And you didn't get a chance to go by your local comic book store and get it, because we understand you're human and you have things to do.
And of course, if you do like the individual issues, but you are, a busy, responsible adult that just can't always get out when the new issues are released, here's a little bit of a secret about most comic book stores, but especially Madness. There's a thing called pull lists. You can sign up with them at the front desk over there. You can put your name down, which series specifically you're trying to keep up with, and they will set aside the newest issues for each of those series for you, and just hold on to them as a will call, so that you can come and buy them when you have time, and you won't have to worry about missing a single issue. It's worth your time every time if you like the single issues.
I've been meaning to do it just so that, because I'm that person that will, I come here, I'm spending money, and I'm a teacher, so I have a teacher salary, so like I need to be smart about when I do spend money. So pull lists like that would be great for me to be able to come up and just like grab my like stack of books and go on about my merry business, and still keep up with everything. So,
and here's the other thing: if you are a newbie to the whole comic book
which
game,
is fine. Please know that.
Once again, that's literally half of the reason why Free Comic Book Day exists.
Yes.
For the newbies out there.
Let's get you into it.
The newbies, the comically intrigued, or as we have previously coined, the nerd curious of you out there.
Ooh.
The staff here at Madness,
There's a bunch of them right there right now.
they
They're busy.
are some of the best people you will ever meet.
They are.
They can answer most of your questions, and if that one can't, somebody else in the store will be able to.
Or if they can at least answer your question, but there's someone who can talk to you about it at at length with a little bit more passion, they can direct you to the next person that could also geek out over the same things with you and whatnot. So that you.
For example,
some good stuff.
If you've read a comic book that you liked before and you want some more reading material, or say you came to Free Comic Book Day, you picked up one of these, the comic you got, it turned out you liked a lot of it, but it wasn't really something you want to follow, but there's a lot of pieces of it that were really fun to you. You can come around and ask some of the wonderful staff members here, hey, so I had this comic that I read, I loved the art of it. Like, I liked this specifically about it.
But I didn't really care for.
I like superheroes,
Iron Man.
but the Iron Man, the Marvel stuff, it didn't do it for me.
Which is acceptable.
But I do like superheroes. Can you recommend something for me that kind of fits that idea?
They might direct you to a different group. They could tell you about like Teen Titans, maybe might be more your speed. You could be directed towards. I would direct you towards Deadpool personally because I'm a big fan of the bird with a mouth.
But definitely not necessarily a child-appropriate series to try to toss around. It's definitely much more for teenagers and adults. So please. Do not get your 6-year-old an issue of Deadpool.
I mean, unless you do Spider-Man and Deadpool, and then then all of a sudden it becomes like
anytime Deadpool crosses over with Spider-Man, it's wonderful. But yes, please don't get your 6-year-old or 7-year-old a Deadpool comic.
Please no.
It may look fun, but
there are some comics that are definitely geared more towards adults. Like, I probably wouldn't throw out just a little bit that I've seen of Vampire. I'm not going to suggest to like a 9 or 10-year-old. But maybe you're like 16, 17, this might be a little bit more an okay thing for you to read. Versus like Goosebumps was definitely a thing that could be for those preteen age gaps and whatnot, but maybe not the 7-year-old who gets scared of the light being off in their bedroom.
And something that's actually available right now as part of Free Comic Book Day, but do not give it to your kids ever.
I'm watching you.
But if you've seen the Amazon show, grab it. The Boys.
The Boys.
Great series. By the same creator as The Walking Dead.
Yep.
The comics are definitely a lot more on the adult graphic content advisory side.
As my grandmother would say, mature.
Yes, a rated M for mature.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. And that's
But
something else.
amazing series. Here as part of Free Comic Book Day. If you've seen the
And-
show, definitely grab the comic because this is a great one to be able to get into series because season 3 is coming out on Amazon soon-ish.
Yep.
And I am so ready because Jensen Ackles is coming in with it, and and they're letting him have a beard finally. Seriously, for all the beard fans out there.
Beard aficionados such as
Yes,
myself.
Yes. It is so depressing to see amazing actors who look wonderful in beards that have to shave it for the show or movie they're on, and when they finally get the chance to keep it, oh.
I'm also going to point out Jared Padalecki in that one, but that's just because I'm a Supernatural fan.
Yeah.
But another
Anyway.
really cool thing about some of the comics, they're a little bit harder to find on some. But if you're worried about age contents, for example, this Just Beyond one actually has a rating on it that says for all ages. That way, if you're like, I'm not sure if this content's going to be good for my younger kids or if it's going to be more mature, you can use that as a great guide to understand if this comic's going to be good for your kid or not. If you're one of those actually great parents that are concerned about content that their children are consuming.
Tom!
You want to come over?
You want to pop your head in on
say
camera
hi?
and be able to say hi to the people at home?
Hello. Somewhere. I don't know
Somewhere.
Hello,
How's it
Tom.
going? It's
Good.
going well. How are you?
Good. So,
Good.
How's your Free Comic Book Day going?
Good.
Yeah.
Giving away lots of free comics.
Yeah.
So that's a good
It's
thing.
like a theme or something about the day.
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. just a little.
Do you have any particular choices of yours that you would say are your picks?
I have a couple out
You
there.
have a couple?
that I
Yeah?
like.
Like what?
But see, then I'm more of the horror kind of guy. and-
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
what would you recommend? Because I like horror and scary and spooky things.
She's a baby goth that grew up.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
weren't we
you
just
know, I
talking
mean-
about the whole outfit thing earlier?
Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
wow.
couldn't be me.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. The blood red fingernail polish, you know, the dark rimmed glasses, the nose ring. Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Never. Couldn't be me.
She's just missing the vampire white makeup to really make.
I'm already vampire white though. I threw off the white balance when he was setting up the camera. He had to constantly adjust it for like 5 minutes. It's like, I mean,
Well, it stormed for you. Did you bring this in with you today?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Neither confirm nor deny. Okay,
Nope.
very good. Very good.
Do you have certain
Oh,
recommendations?
I mean, I like the stray dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stray dogs. It's not exactly what you think. It's not really your kid comic. No.
Okay.
It's more of an
Noted.
adult comic. Yeah.
I might have
It's
to
very
grab that
cool.
one then.
Very, very cool.
So I kind of like, I hadn't heard about it, and I kind of just
Yeah,
saw it, and I
no,
was like,
it's
it looks
very
cute,
cool.
and then I kind of,
You think it does look cute.
oh no. Okay, that's also on my
It
alley
looks
then.
like you. It's nice
Oh.
and cute, and then becomes very,
Comes off as precious, but it really isn't. Like,
something. I didn't.
Okay.
Don't put words in my
I
mouth
might
like that.
Sorry. Might be. I'll have to go grab it though.
And then there's a new preview out there, Slaughterhouse. That's going to be.
See, I
comic
kind
coming
of saw
out.
that one.
So yeah, it's kind of in the lines of something is killing the children.
Okay.
Okay.
So again, not your child.
Yeah.
But we still have Sonics out there and everything else.
We talked about Sonic.
Yes, and Star Wars.
That was my first
Yep,
one.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. Stop. Yep.
Yep.
So I mean,
No, I grew up on Sonic comics.
oh, did you?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
very
I
cool.
still have the 10th anniversary issue at home. Oh yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, very cool. No, I mean,
Noted. Okay.
yep, and it's all laid out there very nicely. So yeah, we still got lots of
Yes.
comics for everybody to come out.
There are
and
like,
grab some.
how many? Like 7 full tables? 3 on each side, and then the end one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you start you're looking at this wall, you start at the opposite end.
The far side.
And then you pick a side, because both sides are the same. Come down and grab your books and go bag them up, and then you can feel free to walk around and grab some more things.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, out of curiosity, so if you go and check out the full list of options that are part of the Free Comic Book Day, would you say that you guys have most of them, all of them, or?
I'd say we have most of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say we would have most of them.
There are some sacks that are getting thin, so get out of here sooner rather than later.
Right.
Because of course there's some that are really popular that I'm
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
that are like
For sure.
being grabbed and whatnot. So,
Yeah,
but yeah.
Awesome.
definitely. So how are you guys doing?
Good. Having fun so far, and so far the comics
You
comment
didn't pick
section
up
have been
very
blowing
many
up with
books
this.
here.
We'll just
Oh,
grab it.
this is first pass for the sake of talking points, and
Yeah.
have other graphics to pull up. Then I'll be
Yeah.
going back through again after.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Especially now that I know. So I was looking at Stray Dogs, and I was like, maybe. And so now I'm gonna have to grab it. So.
Very good. No, yeah. Definitely
Plus,
worth it.
I would be remiss if I don't also try to see if you guys still have one of the full-size 30th anniversary Sonics around the corner
No,
still.
we might.
I know. I'm gonna have to at least check.
Okay.
Because if you do, I am grabbing that sucker and running.
Very good.
Lots of
Awesome.
stuff.
Because I was kicking myself last time that we were here because it was here, and I'm like, I gotta get it, but I was so
No,
busy,
no, sure.
and now I'm like, oh my gosh, if it's out, I'm just no, that's not acceptable. I
Yeah.
can't.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Awesome.
Super excited. Thanks
I
for
will,
stopping in.
Yeah, absolutely. I might pop in later. I don't know, but yeah.
All right.
Come on out, everyone.
You know, if Metler wants to, give a quick
Yeah,
wave
yeah,
on
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You
We'll see
send the
what I
minutes
can
this
do.
way.
Cool.
We're
All right,
friendly.
guys.
All right. Oh man, Tom, amazing Tom.
He's a good guy.
Definitely one of the guys that if you have questions you want to talk to, he's
He's
fun.
so friendly.
But especially if you have questions about games,
Yes.
he's one of the guys that you absolutely go to every time.
Mm-hmm.
He is one of the game masters in this store, and
It's true.
yeah, it's wonderful. We have had such long-running conversations with him about different game recommendations, and yes.
See, okay, this is one of the comics he was talking about, Stray Dogs, and like upon first look, it looks so sweet and precious, like, but I'm assuming it's going to get really dark when I start flipping through here. So noted. This is also kind of my aesthetic, where it's the deceptively happy, and just kidding, there's some darkness to it. So
Well, like, show the artwork on the first couple pages, and then the puppies. Where were the? Where's the next one?
this one?
The one with all the.
Oh, there's a bunch of dogs on
Yeah.
it. I don't know, where was I?
Oh,
Like,
there it is. I mean, look at that.
look.
Does that not look like it's just a
It
sweet
looks
story?
so sweet, but
And
I'm worried
yet-
about reading it now. Thanks, Tom.
Definitely pay attention to the little rating on the front cover.
Yes, this one definitely has a T for teen, so probably, even though it may look very kid friendly, I'm going to go ahead and assume no.
No.
And another one of Enter the Slaughter.
I think the name gives it away.
The name gives it away, but it does also have a nice T rating on it. Ooh. Okay, sorry.
Now that's some solid artwork there. I gotta say.
Don't mind me. I'm just gonna like.
So yes, when we were
through
talking
and
about having
peruse.
different preferences for artwork that you may want to ask about recommendations based on, this would be the kind of thing that you would
Yeah.
do. Like, I mean, look at this. Look at this.
You can say I really like I really enjoyed this sort of artwork, but maybe the
If
story.
you can see the pencil work, the like very fine details around the eyes, that very more realistic shading,
Yeah.
and just how it's all done, the very non-superhero aesthetic to it. Like, that's the kind of thing that you can look at and go, if you like this aesthetic, you can even bring this
Ooh.
comic back with you and ask, do you have anything that looks like this?
Even some other interesting ones where it has some like written out whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay,
So yes,
big excited.
once again, all the more reason to come out, check out Free Comic Book Day, get some ideas, some
Grab one of
recommendations.
everything.
Yes. Honestly, if you ever wanted to see when the term "don't judge a book by its cover" was so true,
I'm just gonna like.
these comics are 100% that. Just because the cover doesn't necessarily grab you, doesn't mean that it's not a fantastic comic.
Exactly.
Take a look on the inside if any aspect of the cover kind of gets you. See if it kind of piques your interest more. Grab it.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
some good stuff.
Your
I
last
have one
pick
more.
up before was what is this one now? I think this is for a very specific audience.
I talk about it all the time on this one. Not necessarily in this case, but if you like D&D, and if you haven't ever had a chance to sit down and listen to Critical Role before, Critical Role is a bunch of voice actors playing Dungeons and Dragons together. And it is, to say an emotional roller coaster is an understatement of things. Like, I have never become so attached to, like, random NPCs during a D&D campaign and, like, wanting to put that into my D&D campaigns as I have when listening to any part of Critical Role. So if you've ever listened to them before, they have a group called the Mighty Nine, which is a nice little ragtag group of people. And looks as if they come up with a comic book for them. And I'm super excited about getting into it and kind of seeing this is Origins, so it's probably going through and doing some of that background deep dive with some of the characters and what, as opposed to what you get from when they're running around, saving people and being the Mighty Nine of 7 people. So,
So, wonderful, wonderful stuff. And of course, if you are already a D&D fan and you know about Critical Role, obviously you have to check out the comic.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of Critical Role, but you're a D&D fan and you've heard of this thing out there, it's been getting a little bit of
look at Precious Jester, okay? Like, look at her.
Oh yeah.
She is
precious, and yet
no, she is precious, okay? She is baby.
She's one of
She
the
is
best
to be
characters,
protected
honestly.
at all costs.
She's one of the best characters.
Okay, like.
But yeah, of course, if you've never heard of Critical Role or you just never checked it out, but you are familiar with D&D and you've heard of this thing that's kind of been getting popularity on TikTok and a little bit on YouTube called D20.
Yeah, D20. Yep. That's
Critical Role, a lot like that.
Yes.
Only even
D20 is like
bigger
the college
production
humor.
value.
Yeah. D20 is like the college humor cast and whatnot, so it has like little goofy ones. D20, I know they recently did a whole Harry Potter like Hogwarts series,
Which, oh my gosh,
was actually really good.
I loved Brennan as the DM
I
before,
love Brennan.
but seeing him as a player
It's
for the
so
Hogwarts
fun.
story,
It is so
I've
fun.
died so many times just laughing, like on the floor, dying
Yes.
laughing. He is amazing.
Yes. Brennan's another one that's a precious bean.
Oh
like,
my gosh. So,
but definitely,
amazing.
like, if you like D&D, Critical Role is, of course, like the go-to known podcast,
Yeah.
if you will. Well, some are starting to get a little bigger and whatnot, but they have taken what they did in Critical Role and ran with it with full storylines and whatnot. They've done comics, they've done animated series, so there is a lot to it. And if you enjoy it, then, like, why not pick up the little comic and read it? This one also has a second half of it that's Witcher.
I did see something about that. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you like,
Which
The
I'm
Witcher,
a
and-
massive Witcher fan.
and you like Geralt and whatnot, got some nice clean comic art
But,
going on.
but how'd you pronounce his name?
What did I do?
Did you say Geralt?
No, the Geralt. I'm sorry.
Gah.
Guh. So a lot of people will always tell you that I always do the G sound wrong because I say GIF instead of GIF, even though both are correct. I will fight you on that
How
one.
dare you?
Both are correct.
How
okay?
dare you?
I will fight you on this
I
one.
don't care what the creator of the GIF says.
The creator
The
says
internet
GIF,
says it's GIF.
and not everything on the internet is correct.
Well, in this case, the internet overruled him.
No, he didn't. I've said my
Anyway.
piece. I will die on the hill. Thank you. Thank you. I will die on the hill. Okay?
Both of you traitors.
No.
It is GIF. So
GIF.
the day I die.
GIF. I
Hey,
love that
is
argument.
entirely different. GIF is part of internet culture. The book is a book, you know. I mean, great unless it's Harry Potter, in which case, then I guess, that's a whole different bag of worms.
Jeff, I'm not going to correct you for saying GIF, because I'm a decent human being, and we accept people here.
Seriously, guys, come out here. The people here are amazing. Had no idea that I'd be getting into one of the best arguments of the day over the pronunciation of
Jeff. Jeff.
I love it. But anyway.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna go find a graph. Jesus. Oh my gosh, I'm good, I swear.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
I would expect that sort of tangent when Mike was here, but
Anyway, just to go over a couple honorable mentions
Yes.
that we need to. Oh man.
what do you got for honorable mentions, Brad?
So, we talked about the Avengers. Of course,
Yeah.
to follow up with that, you have the Amazing Spider-Man.
Spider-Man!
Which, if anybody's been paying attention to movie trailers lately, waiting with bated breath for the trailer for the new Spider-Man movie, and
need it in my
if
life.
you enjoyed or were disappointed with the fact that instead of a Spider-Man trailer, we got a Venom trailer.
I mean, I'm not upset about this.
This gives you a little bit of both. So, it's timely and well drawn, well written,
Yes.
all the goods.
Yes.
Of course.
It's Spider-Man. Like,
Then, of course, we have to be able to also toss in Blade Runner.
yes.
Because
that was
I
one
am
almost picked
such
up.
a hardcore Blade Runner fan. Love the novel, which,
Mm-hmm.
yes, if you've read the novel, you know it's not called Blade Runner.
No.
It's called...
Do robots dream of electric sheep?
There you go. And for any of you that want to get really pedantic about it, don't at me. Yes, I know there is actually a book that's called Blade Runner, and it's a novelization movie, but it's technically its own thing.
But it was based off
Man.
of the story, Do
Yeah.
robots dream of electric sheep?
Yes. Which, Philip K. Dick, amazing. Amazing. And then, of course,
Another
just
one I
because
would
we
put in the
did-
teen category, not necessary for children. But
yeah. And then, of course, because we did mention it before, but have to bring it up one more time because the boys.
The boys. The boys.
The boys, well, you can read the subtitle for yourself because there are children around.
Small ears, trying to be, semi
Yeah.
acceptable.
But, great series. I really enjoy it. If you've seen the show, you'll really enjoy the comics. If you have never seen the show and you've never read the comics, just be warned,
Frat boy superheroes.
the intention is to do superheroes where the superheroes are intentionally the bad guys and they make everything about them bad. So, don't go into it thinking it's a good superhero story.
It's not a
it's
feel-good.
not. As also, once again, not for children.
No.
Don't give the boys to your children. It's not, no. It's very much adults only.
Yes.
Oh, yes. But still, amazing. Created by the same guy that made The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
And another comic that if you have never read it before, you need to go find it. Get a hold of it. It's already done and over with, so you can go get the full collections.
Yes.
Be warned.
Hey, remember those trades we were talking
Yeah,
about?
be warned though that the trades for Walking Dead are about as thick as War and Peace.
Yeah.
So,
Like, each one's easily like a good... Well, one is a good at least 1.5 inches, if not more.
give up a little bit of your life when you start that, because you'll get sucked in. It's amazing. Also, wonderful because entirely black and white imagery. It's no
Yes.
color, but because of that, it actually makes the images that much more striking.
Yes, very powerful imagery
Especially
going on in a lot of
the ones with the zombies and the more horrific aspects. It just makes it that much more
Intense?
memorable. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But seriously, the line work and the inking on that, some of my favorite.
Yes.
I mean, amazing stuff.
Yes.
So, yes, those are our picks, our honorable mentions, and like we said, if you go to freecomicbook.com and check out the at the top the comics tab, you can see the full listing of all of the comics that are available through the Free Comic Book Day event. Now, there are a few that are going to be a lot more on the wholesome side that are going to be worth pointing out. Like Archie. Yes, Archie Comics. Still going. Surprisingly strong.
Yes.
And, you know, of course, you have to be able to go in and give people a jumping in point on that because it is such a long-running story.
Yes.
You need an intro point.
If you like Riverdale, by the way, this is where it comes from, in case you didn't know that.
But
So.
it is. This is the version that was not CW-fied.
Yes.
So, you know,
But hey,
it's good.
I really enjoyed. I liked Riverdale. Okay, like.
Sorry. It's good and wholesome.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, it's the wholesome
Riverdale's
part.
not wholesome.
No, Riverdale's not wholesome whatsoever. So.
And then, of course, for the kids out there, one that looks really fun to me,
so
Investigators.
cute.
Literally,
Like gators, like
alligators.
with the teeth.
Yes. And
they're like little detectives.
written by John Patrick Green. Captain Underpants.
Yep, it is Captain Underpants, isn't it?
And even the same art style too, which is wonderful.
That's super like inviting, really kid friendly.
Yeah,
bright
and actually,
colors.
if you plan to come out, but you want to be able to take a look at the website just to see what's out there, several of these comics, including Investigators, has a digital preview that you can click into and scroll through a couple pages and get an idea of what it is that you would be seeing. Then, of course, for something a bit more grounded, but definitely more educational for the kiddies.
History.
You have Who Sparked the Montgomery Bus Boycott.
Which is about Rosa Parks.
All about Rosa. Yeah, all about Rosa.
Which is very
Amazing.
cool. I like it whenever you can take something in a medium such as comic books and give it an educational twist to it. That makes sense.
Yes.
To where it makes. I'm a teacher. Okay, I'm sorry. Like I like making learning fun. I don't have many options inside of a math class to make learning interesting.
Yep.
So I can at least be envious of things like history and science where you can do it in an animated or cartoon format and still be able to get the information across in a very like easy to consume way, such as Rosa Parks' story, or if you want like, you know, Magic School Bus, because I'm totally not Miss Frizzle or anything when I was teaching science, so.
So, and yeah, for anybody, especially if you are our age or older and had to live through the dark days of comic books,
The dark times.
there has been for so many years so much time where comic books were looked down on as
Yes.
an inferior form of media that had no intrinsic value beyond pretty
is
pictures
upsetting.
and, you know, some big action pieces.
Yeah.
So any opportunity that comics have to be able to prove them wrong with either really solid storytelling, some of the most unique and incredible artwork, or
Yes.
actual educational value
Such
done
as
in a
Rosa
way
Parks'
that
story.
kids actually want to see, that's awesome.
Yes.
So I'm all for this, and no matter how cheesy you may see it personally, I can promise you there are a ton of kids out there that would love to get their hands on a copy of that, and honestly should.
Yeah, they should. Like, I wish it was more common to see, too. But I thought about even grabbing a copy of it and giving to my new science department, history department, just so that they could have it on hand in case they want to use it as, like, a reference to something. So, I mean...
And if you want something that is going to be definitely kid-friendly and relatable, Scholastic, of course, has their own
We were
entry
talking
into
about them
this.
earlier, weren't we?
Yeah. Called Allergic.
Yeah.
Allergic is a story about a young girl whose parents are going to be having another kid, and she's feeling very neglected kind of feels like things are changing. She's not really happy about that, and
Typical little kid response.
Needs to be able to have something special for herself, and so she wants to get a dog.
Of kids go through
Except
this.
turns out she's very allergic to dogs,
Oops.
but she's determined to try to find a way past her allergic issue because she really, really wants to keep the dog.
Yeah.
So, something else that, once again, worth grabbing for your kids.
Exactly.
And is something
Even
that
if it just
is...
makes them more empathetic towards like other kids,
Yeah.
like what they got going on at home or whatnot.
Yeah, once not educational, but relatable. Very good for kids to be able to read, and
sometimes
well done.
relatable content is like what a kid needs just to understand what another kid's going through. So I mean,
yep.
and I'm all for that. Just saying.
Yeah. And then of course you have Avatar: Legend of Korra.
Yep.
Has an issue out that I know a lot of people have really hated all over that show. I really enjoyed it.
And from pieces I've seen, it's been really good. I need to sit down and really like dive into it.
So the thing about Legend of Korra that made it a bit of a hard left turn for fans of the original's Last Airbender.
Which comment you're gonna say? So
the big issue, or the big difference, was that Avatar: The Last Airbender was a very fun show that had a lot of serious moments thrown into it.
a lot.
Legend of Korra was a serious show that had fun moments thrown into it. And because it was the sequel to the other show, if you went into it expecting it to be a fun show with serious moments, and you got this was very much not what you were expecting.
Yeah.
And even more, where the first show talked about the relationship between the elements and trying to find harmony, which was easily translatable as trying to find harmony between different peoples.
It's an allegory.
This show was so much more about trying to find spiritual and emotional balance, which a lot more heady concepts than, can't we all just get along?
Which is a lot of the first one.
And that was the part that, basically, if you saw the parts of Avatar: The Last Airbender towards the end of Season 2, into Season 3, where it was Aang trying to find his emotional and spiritual balance,
which
it's that, but put into overdrive.
Yes.
And given a main character who is the exact opposite of Aang, someone who is impulsive and who is very immature for her age.
Very emotionally reactive.
and just...
That sounds like someone else we know.
Yeah. I don't have no idea who that would be.
Never! He's not at work or anything.
You're watching. But, it was a very, very different tone. And especially, oh my gosh, especially once you got past Season 2 of Legend of Korra, the depth they took the story to, and then by Season 4, you started going so deep down the rabbit hole about who am I, what makes me me, can I survive? Does that sound
familiar to what a lot of teenagers go through?
Well, even more than that, it's basically every millennial's
also very true.
kind of emotional and existential crisis that we've been going through the last decade. So
Oops.
I could see how it might hit a nerve for some people because it might be a little too touchy.
Yeah, and it's also for another that's a key point, kind of. It's also very LGBTQ friendly. For those who identify as such, if you will, and want something that has relatable content.
Yes.
Legend of Korra would definitely be one that I would recommend.
Yeah, and so much so that while it was going on, the creators were actually paying attention to the things the fans said on Reddit and on all over the internet, and they reacted to it in a few ways as far as character development that actually leaned even more towards that whole giving everybody of every stripe
Yep.
some place to identify with
which
in
was
the show.
which is really like
It was great.
comforting as
Yeah.
someone who sees a lot of kids who don't get that support at home or don't have that sort of representation. It's an actual wholesome representation of it as opposed to just I don't really know a good word for it, but as opposed to just taking a character that was straight and then making them into representation, this is a character that is actually, I don't know, a good representation of LGBT. Well, not just one of them, but like a lot of characters throughout the entire series.
Yeah. Oh no, amazing. So yeah, I really.
And it's not just for the sake of representation either. Like it was very genuine.
Yeah, you know when you see that type of storytelling, it's
So
obvious.
upsetting.
And at this point,
I don't want to be. No one wants to be just a checkbox.
Well, and at this point in time where we've had so many different opportunities to see storytelling be brought to new depths
Yep.
and be given more just substance in all aspects
As opposed to just
for
being a plot
different
point.
types of people, different types of stories, different types of all of it. To find a story now that does go back to that representation for the sake of representation trope, it becomes so painfully
Yes.
obvious because we've now all had a chance to see it done well
Right.
and done
Yes.
right. And
Dang it.
it's so hard to see that and then not see all the other places where it was done poorly.
Yeah,
So,
definitely would recommend. What?
more Aaron in here. You know, relatable is educatable.
Relatable is educate. Oh, I like that, Aaron.
And then Sami is Bay.
And what?
Sami is Bay. It's fair.
Very
It's
fair.
fair.
Very fair.
I mean, you know.
it's fair.
We have Hi, Rudy, Iraheda. I am terribly sorry if I butchered your last name. We have Hi from Edward Blake, the comedian.
Hello.
And then XJ9, Jenny Wakeman, says, so we, the comedian jumped in with, heard the new Suicide Squad movie. Okay, I get it now. So, Edward Blake is is saying he's Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And saying that, he heard that, Suicide Squad made him look bad. And so, Jenny's jumping in and saying, it's okay, man. It's gonna be okay.
I follow.
Took me a second because the icons on here are so tiny. I'm like, I know the image on here is probably some kind of tell for me because I'm less familiar with Peacemaker as a character,
Yeah.
so his
I am curious,
non-hero name is
Persona?
one that I'm going. Who is he again? yeah. It's okay. And of course, I still haven't watched Suicide Squad. Although I actually am not opposed to seeing this one as much as I was the first one.
Yeah.
And I forced myself to watch the first one well after the fact,
saw it in
strictly to
theaters.
understand what
Where?
happened.
Yeah.
And it was.
It felt like a fever dream looking back
It
on
wasn't
it.
good. The trailer definitely made it look better than the first movie really was.
But yes.
But that's okay. Anywho. Yeah, no, so amazing stuff.
Yes.
And then there was one other thing that I really wanted to point out is part of the selection this
Yeah.
year. And that was well, two actually. Sorry, The
Okay.
Tick, because
Yes, it's
I
a
love The
classic.
Tick. I live for The Tick, and I am still so deeply depressed that Amazon canceled the show because it was an amazing show.
From what I'd seen of it, yes.
The entire second season, half of the humor was centered around bureaucratic paperwork. It takes talent to make that funny, and
Yes.
they pulled it off. I am still hurt by that. So the
Look at
comic
Tick,
is
it's a classic. Like, you can't go wrong with it.
But the one that I know a lot of people out there are going to appreciate, and this goes completely over my head because I was never somebody that got into it. The Trailer Park Boys.
See, I was gonna bring it up, but I didn't know if I should.
They have a comic, and
They do.
I know Mike is a big Trailer Park Boys fan.
No.
Oh, he isn't?
No, it's Letterkenny, the other Canadian show. I'm the one who
thought it was
makes.
both.
No, I'm the one who makes Trailer Park Boys jokes.
My bad, Mike.
Keys are supposed to smell like keys.
Well, so in fairness, a lot of our friends from the convention circuit tend to be Trailer Park Boys fans.
That is also very fair. That is very fair. But no, I'm the one that makes it's been a little bit since I've watched it, but I'm the one who usually makes a Trailer Park Boy joke in there or whatnot. I have a friend who his username is Mr. Leahy, so who is sadly no longer with us.
Yeah. No, so a lot of options. Once again,
Lots of different themes too. There's also some anime if you're into weeby sort of feeling. I saw it. I didn't touch it because I wasn't sure how to feel about it. There's a comic called Rent a Girlfriend.
Oh, that side of yep.
Yeah. So I'll just gonna put that out there for you, and if you're curious, I'll let you investigate. So.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair. Yeah. No,
Lots of options.
Yeah. Once again, go on to freecomicbookday.com.
Yep.
Go to the comic tab. Check out the full options.
You have plenty of time to still
or
make it up to
just
any
come out.
comic book store and
Yeah.
get some still.
Come out, any comic book store that's participating, but definitely Madness.
Yes, come see us here.
Come check it out. Get your selection. Totally worth it. Once again, 3000 Custer Road, Plano, Texas. Largest comic and game store in North Texas.
Easily.
I'm going to keep saying that until somebody proves me wrong. Because as far as I've seen, it is.
Yeah,
and like I said, I've
it's
looked.
massive.
It's
normally
amazing.
when it's not Free Comic Book Day, the area that has all these free comic books usually has 10 to 12 gaming tables and stuff like that of people playing different either tabletop games or any of the board games that they just recently purchased here, and meeting up here to play those games. There's a whole collectible section of ranging things from pops to Lego sets to plushies to action figures to models for you to put together. Whatever you like when it comes to collectibles, it's probably here. There's even a giant Batman statue. Can't really go wrong with
And
that.
Harley Quinn, and I think some kind of Viking Knight.
I don't think I've seen that one. We'll have to
Well,
investigate.
it used to be in the front.
That is true.
Near
They have
the
moved
trading cards.
around some stuff.
Yeah.
So-
So that got
Oh,
moved
and
back
there's-
to
and
the
then-
back when the trading cards went to the back.
Yeah.
So
And then there's also,
I'm guessing that might be a Magic thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, to all the Magic fans out there, I'm not familiar. So if that is a character for Magic, I apologize.
Yeah. And then there's also Dungeons and Dragons stuff. There's a whole section of pre-primed minis for you with painting sets and whatnot, so for you to design your own miniatures. So there's something here for everyone besides just comic books. So.
Yeah, and that, just so we can really emphasize it, if you do like tabletop role-playing games, the miniatures section is huge.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
So there's a lot of options, a lot of supplies. It's great.
There's something here for everyone, I swear. Even in the board games, there is going to be a board game here that you're going to be ooh, this is for me, I'm picking it up and leaving. And I'm not just talking about Monopoly or Life or
there's some really
Sorry.
niche things.
There's Ticket to Ride, there's Catan, there's Pandemic, there's Flux, which we've talked about before. There's card games, there's actual board games for you to get. I think I've seen Cash and Guns here before, which is my favorite board game, by the way. There's something here for anyone. Do you like murder mystery? There's murder mystery. Do you like pitting yourself against your friends? There's something like that for you. Do you like cooperative board games? Do you there is something for you here. I swear to you.
And if you're like me, one of my favorite parts of the store is actually dead ahead of us, past the free comic book tables.
What, Star Wars stuff?
Oh, the massive Star Wars section.
It's
action
what do you
figures.
expect?
Yeah, no, action figures, ships, the tall 12-inch figures,
The Black
helmets.
Series. Yep.
Oh, some books,
Models,
some
books.
I believe I see a mug or two back there.
Statues.
So many things, and just
There's something here, I swear.
it's amazing. Yeah. Now, if you have never been here before, you need to. And if you have been here,
Sure.
come back.
There's always something new going on here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And of course, one last time, because we are officially coming up to the end of our show.
Sad day.
I know, but I mean, we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes, so yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We absolutely loved seeing all of your comments, which was very abundant today. So
Yes.
thank you, thank you.
Love
And
interaction.
of course, as always, if you have not already, please do not forget to like and subscribe over on YouTube, and do not forget to check that notification bell in order to get notifications every time we upload a new video
Gives you all the
or
heads up.
live show, which, yeah,
Yeah, that's what we
happens.
enjoy doing out here.
Yeah. And then, of course, you can be sure to find us over on
The
Facebook.
Books of Faces.
So you can like and follow us over there, too. We have a very strong community of nerds
Yes.
that really enjoy talking to people over there, so it'll be worth your time.
It is.
And
It very is.
you know, it's also very easy to be able to share our stuff on Facebook with friends, family, co-workers, random strangers on the street, because, you know, we're good with anybody that wants to watch us.
It's very true.
And then, of course, if you don't have time to watch our stuff, but still want to be able to check out more of our content, you can always check out the audio from our live shows, interviews, and, well, basically all the other random, fun, little weird things that we tend to do.
It's very true.
Over on
All the
Apple
options.
Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. Oh, and I almost forgot, we also have our audio exclusive podcasts every
That is very
Thursday
true.
that come out. Those are not child approved, so you know, just go into it with an understanding that it's
If you wanted to experience Brad and Mike without a filter,
Yes.
that would be your alley to go find.
it's a hard 1980s PG-13. So that should tell you something. Yes.
1980s PG-13.
Hey, they were a lot more forgiving about how many of certain words were allowed before it became R.
This is very true.
Just saying.
Very true.
But
Knowing Mike,
great
that's a good handful.
surprisingly, depending on the topic, we can tie at times.
Really?
Yeah, it depends on the
Look
topic.
at
though.
Brad.
It depends on the topic. But yeah, so yeah, be sure to come check us out. It's gonna be awesome. And of course, one more time for anybody that did not hear us talk about earlier, this coming Wednesday, August 18th at 3 p.m. Central, here at Madness, the amazing, wonderful Timmy Britt, former Disney Imagineer, former senior director,
It's true.
art director for Disney, former senior art director for Universal Studios.
Lots of stuff.
Amazing guy. I can guarantee if you've been to Disney World or Universal Studios Orlando,
seen
you've seen
his
his work. And if you need a good book to read, his book, Extraordinary Everyday Magic, is available now on Amazon, and his website, timmybritt.art. Go check it out. I've already been huddled in a sobbing mess a couple times reading it, and I'm only halfway through, so, you know, wonderful. But seriously, amazing story. You can come out here on Wednesday to be able to see him live, or come on to Facebook or YouTube to be able to
can see
watch
him
us.
there.
There's been a hint that there may be a little drawing demonstration by the amazing Timmy Britt. We'll see, but definitely not something you want to miss. So, come back on Wednesday. Check it out. Check him out.
Yep.
You won't regret it. So,
It's gonna be great.
as always, I'm Brad. That's Kylo.
Hi.
We're Dallas Geek from the amazing Madness Games and Comics up in Plano, Texas, saying, see ya.
Bye.